Hello and welcome back, everyone. Hambbage here, and we've got yet another, hopefully not too exciting hardcore vanilla Minecraft episode. And of course, as I say that, what I mean is I hope we don't lose the world. And quite honestly, after yesterday and the day before, um, we're taking quite a chance because it is, well, it's not ridiculously early, but it's early in the sense that I just got a cup of coffee. I'm not feeling very awake. And because I have a pretty busy day, I don't know. I don't know that I should really be starting right now. I can't believe I'm sleeping with that zombie so close, or sounding so close. All right, so what do we have on tap? We're cooking a lot of stuff. We've got tons of copper we don't really need yet, and I think we cooked up the gold that we had. So we've got just a whole. Oh, you know what? Let's figure out stairs. I think cobble is just the way to go. In this one. Because again, this world, we're not worried too much about cosmetics in building until we get to a point of stability. So let's make them ugly and good. And again, that's kind of mean to the cobble. It's our forever deal. I'm going up. I'm just it's bad placing these things either way, but and I think we'll go all the way down here. So did everybody watch, or did anybody watch the Olympic opening ceremonies last night? I actually did watch most of them, and when you've seen as many Olympics as I have, you kind of get this feel for what's coming. it's it's going to be a long window of the countries walking in, and so I had other stuff kind of going on. Mainly, I was eating dinner because I'd recorded all the way up until time, so I was just kind of very slowly eating, and kind of checking out some of my favorite content creators on YouTube, stuff like that. Just passing the time and idly watching a little bit, and then hung on for some of the stuff at the end. And man, oh man, I had mentioned in the video yesterday. I think it was in China in 2008. Although I could be wrong. It could have been Japan for the Winter Olympics or Korea even. I'm not sure, but one of them did a coordinated drone flight kind of deal, and yeah, Tokyo blew that out of the water last night. Wow, that was so amazing. That the just regular NBC feed that I saw, which here in the U.S. is just a broadcast station. Their announcer said it was 1,800 drones, and man, that was so cool. Kind of my favorite thing, as you can tell from the my commentary on the previous Olympics, wherever they'd done that. Uh, I'm just kind of amazed at that. But I liked the Imagine was cool. I think. Well, the funniest part was call me ignorant, and I say all the time I struggle to come up with celebrities' names and musicians and all anything that's like poppy. I don't know what it is, but I just have this horrible block. I'll be like, oh, I love that, that like classic movie. What's it called? The one with oh yeah, that guy. He's got a couple kids. He's hugely famous, Academy Award winner, I'm sure, and yeah, it's got some boats and a river, and yeah, there's helicopters and stuff. It's Vietnam is the war, and yeah, there's surfing and napalm and stuff, and of course, I'm talking about Apocalypse Now, but you just I get these weird deals, and for names of celebrities, so many of them I don't even know. I like I recognize the faces and all that, but I just have this huge struggle with names to faces. So anyway, random tangent, but I had no idea that Keith Urban, who's been a big American musical artist for years, that he was Australian. I mean, that's how. Wow, Oceania. What? Why do American artists get to take over two of the spots? And I was pretty impressed that I knew three at least. And now I'm gonna blank on the dude's name. The European singer I'd at least heard of and kind of recognized him as having been seen before. Um, wasn't familiar with the African woman, but I thought she was great, and I kind of wish that the children's choir that started it off got a little more play towards the end. Like as soon as they went to the celebrity song artists, it was like the kids were just out. Like, sorry guys, you really can't hang. You were cute and all that. Your parents got to take pictures, and thanks for playing. Bye bye. Which was I thought kind of a shame, but I mean, it's just me. Um, but I thought that was cool. Little, it's the Olympics, so it's kind of that way, but a little sappy to my taste. Like, yeah, whatever. I mean, uh, I Imagine was a classic when I was a kid. It's not a new sentiment, and I remember even when I was a kid, it was still a little bit edgy when it came to the Beatles catalog. That was stuff that some people still really got on edge about, and not I think everybody likes the idea of imagining peace and people coming together. But if you really look at the lyrics and the sentimentality of Imagine, it's kind of contrary to a lot of the Olympic stuff. You're Imagine there's no countries. It's not hard to do. Imagine no religion too. It's there's some things that people on the surface would feel very fundamentally offended if you told them that take that away, take away your love of country, your love of God, and believe in that. And I didn't mean to rant. See, this is what happens. I've had like 2 sips of coffee today. I'm just rambly. But I love the Beatles. I love Imagine. I think if you can, and I very much do. I think if you can get past um, the point where you're overly defensive of your own beliefs and accept that other people's religious views are just as valid as yours are. You may. It's the well, see, now I'm doing it with history. This is even worse. It's the old, is it Patrick Henry? Uh, I don't believe in what you're saying, but I'll fight to the death to defend your right to do so. That sentimentality, sometimes people just lose it. Even here in the United States, where we, especially maybe here in the United States, where um, we have take a lot of pride in our liberties and what we, um, we are the or the land of the free. We're uh, champions of our Bill of Rights and the personal liberties that it um, protects. But often, with just our own personality bias, and I'm not being overly critical or throwing people over. It's just early morning. We're talking about stuff, and but I do think it's something we all need to be aware of it. I think everyone can say that we can always all do better at stuff. We can always look for ways to self-improve, and I think that's one area where a lot of us need to be sort of vigilant, of our own thoughts and thinking, because I think that's where world peace and, a lack of understanding the stuff that Imagine comes from, it generates is you say, I want freedom of speech, except if I don't agree with what you're saying. And then you shouldn't get that freedom of speech. And same with religion. I mean, look at how many people have that, and that's something as a um, born and raised Protestant Christian, I've really struggled with in terms of Christianity in general, is the really evangelical um, bent that, people feel the need to get in the faces of others and say, your faith is wrong. You're going about it the wrong way. You need to listen to what I'm doing. And, just it's the attitude more than the intent. Um, Personally, I've always felt, the same way that people speak about people that have addiction issues and things like that. If you and I are out there having a conversation about religion, you're not going to be ready to listen unless you're at a point when you're looking for something in your life. If you're just cruising down the street, having this cup of coffee, and all of a sudden it's like, I really think that you need to, and again, my background, believe in Jesus. He's the one. Or it could be Buddha or Muhammad, or any other belief value. Folks that believe they find a truth want to share that. If you find peace or well-being, you tend to be very animated in that, and like, hey, I've got, it's like the book, and I think there's a movie recently, The Secret, and some of those kind of things, where if you think you've discovered a way to work, and I'm just as guilty of it, because I think, I've found a way that helps with your approach to fitness and careers and that kind of stuff, and I'm keen to share that with people. But you have to understand that people have to be in the right state of response. And when it comes back around to the song Imagine, or that kind of deal, you have to understand that you can't just come in to a person who already has their own defined view of that same truth, or a parallel one, and say, well, no, I'm right, you're wrong. Because that person may feel just as passionately the other way. And then, you have wars over religion or wars over economic systems, things like that. So it's it's a tough prospect, world peace, and I think we all share John's hope that we can get there someday. Um, but as humans, we don't have a very good track record of it. And I think back, there was during the parade as the countries were coming in, they were talking about whatever I don't remember what the current name is or what the athletes walked in under. Um, but it was the former Yugoslavia, or the part of it that contains Sarajevo, and they were talking about the Sarajevo Olympics, which are just the Olympics themselves were wonderful, but it was such a tragedy that here here was a country that was espousing the same, Olympics, world peace coming together, we're putting things behind, and this was on the heels of, was it 80 and 84 or 84 and 88? There was the twin boycotts where LA and Moscow both had Olympics, and it was kind of a tit for tat deal where the American athletes boycotted the Olympic Games in Moscow, and then when the Olympics came to Los Angeles, the Russian teams refused to participate and just didn't come back. And on the heels of that, when I was getting just old enough to really kind of start remembering these things and understand what the Olympics were in a larger sense, I was very, very young, but I remember being on vacation with my family when they played the Miracle game, the United States and Lake Placid, and only because I was on vacation, it had a different setting. It stood up. I wouldn't have remembered any other sports things from that age, no matter how significant. But I do remember that because we had traveled to Florida and we were staying at a little, what would now be like a VRBO type deal, I think. And I remember, what we had otherwise just been on the beach and going out to restaurants and stuff. We stayed in that night, and there was kind of like a walk upstairs up to a living room deal where they had the hockey, and it was a replay, as I understand it now, of the game that had been played earlier that day. So that was pretty neat. But the Sarajevo games, I'm trying to figure out if we want to go. As I've been like wandering around here and talking, I'm thinking, do I want to do the push out for that whole section? I think spatially it would look a little better. Let's go ahead and do it. It's gonna be tedious. Now this part, is a little tough. 1, 2, 3. Oh, I won't get there. So anyway, yeah, Sarajevo, Yugoslavia. Been there, and I remember that because my grandparents had actually been on a trip to Yugoslavia. Um, hey, diamonds. That's a way to start our morning. Let's break out all this deep slate. And go around here. just want to get this framed out. Alright, let's snatch these up. We'll go ahead and repair these before we forget. Again, thin on coffee. Oh, that is good. Alright. Now maybe we'll just go cube by cube since we're low on picks. Until we decide what I'm going to do with floor, I'm not going to put in more deep slate. For one thing, just to show this is what we learned, you get the different pattern when you place them back. The other is that it takes longer when we do, if we do want to switch out to the moved. Do the quick and easy here. All right, as we work on this deep slate, I'm going to have a sip of coffee. Oops. That is toasty. Ooh, okay. So that takes care of our extra mining plans. Okay, we'll leave the torches up there. Go gear up. So yeah, my parents had been to Yugoslavia at some point. I don't know if it was before or after, how it all fit in. Again, I was pretty young when all of that stuff was going on. Very, very young. And one of the things I remember, they said that it was one of the most beautiful places they'd ever seen. The city of Sarajevo was just incredible, and that they so I think it was obviously it was before the war, because what really stood out was when the Bosnia, Serbia, Yugoslavia conflict began, and that they were shook up because a lot of that centered around Sarajevo, and they were just devastated. Not only that people were being hurt and killed and all that, but that such a beautiful city was kind of the center of the fighting, and how quickly those kind of things can change. So yeah, that struck home pretty early for me, and I always kind of remember that, and I thought the hosts did a good job of covering that. I couldn't escape the feeling throughout, because the broadcast team, Mike Tirico, I'm a little more familiar with because he does a lot of NBC sports coverage hosting throughout the year. but he's also the male member, and both of the broadcasters on the Olympics. They do all the parade coverage, which I don't watch a lot of parades. I kind of feel they fall into opening ceremonies of Olympics. Although those I kind of try to get in the spirit of and jump on board. Um, you know what? No, I was about to do it, but I'm not because theoretically we could need obsidian. I was thinking that as we're holding on to the two for. We got a lot of tools. Okay, we're fully loaded back up on torches though. Got a bunch of bread. Let's go explore that cave. See what we got to contend with. Um, so, alright. So if you watch the opening sermons or any as we go through here, any of the Olympic events and things, what stands out? What are favorite sports or anything that you've seen that maybe you didn't expect to really be exciting or draw you in that did? Uh, I Other than seeing the disappointing women's soccer game, which you guys may have caught up, I was pretty frustrated that they lost. I'd like to have a World Women's Cup women's team that is at the top of the world. I think that's important. I was pretty bummed out that they weren't that. This was a huge anticlimax. Let's state the obvious here. Had nothing fun, exciting. Oh, we did get a piece of iron. Okay, well, at least we know we're safe now to continue. I know I said we were going to do sections, but now we got new picks, so it's all part of my plan. And I think we have one more section to go, but we'll just peek. At least one. Maybe two? There we go. And we have lapis. Ooh. Breaking our torches. Don't go breaking my torch. So yeah, I do plan to get some good Olympic viewing in, but I don't think it's going to be today. As I said, I'm getting an early start here, and I don't know, I may get some. We got a pretty good gap in between, but where I may get a few more videos in, but we, um, I at least have tentative plans to go play some disc golf this morning before it gets, and I don't think it's supposed to get too hot, but it may get stormy today. And then I'm supposed to be going to a pig roast. Hambbage, anyone? This afternoon, and it's at the lady's house where I moved hay the other day. So that'll be fun. It's actually a 60th birthday party, and it should be pretty cool. Hopefully, good weather because I think it's 100% outdoor deal. But when we were moving the hay, I was talking to the lady about it, and she said, "Yeah, they got to." They do like the whole cook and everything too, because normally, that this is the Hawaiian style pig roast where you traditionally bury it, a whole pig. So, if you're going to do it, and I've done one myself way back in college days. And the deal is you dig a pit. In college, we did in a dirt gravel parking lot. It was maybe not well received. Yeah, you dig a big pit, you line it with charcoal and create a fire, and then you put up the whole butchered pig in and seal the hole back up so that heat, the charcoal isn't like, it's charcoal, so it typically doesn't burn with a flame, but it's not like in your charcoal barbecue grill. It's kind of sealed up, so you just got all the heat, and you're effectively roasting or baking the whole pig. Well, the deal is, you got to go to a butcher or a pig farm to get this whole pig, and big deal. Well, it's I guess this one they actually do the cook too, and don't it's like nothing for them to do it because it's one of those you kind of bury it and forget it, right? There's no basting or turning or anything like that. Once it's in the hole in the ground, it's done. So if you're set up there, if you're an abattoir, I think is the correct name for a meat processor. The nicer name here in America, we just call them meat processing plants. But if you're in that line of work and you just set up a roasting pit, it costs you nothing to have a hole. If you got the space for it, and you just reline it and start up a fire, put a pig in, toss a pig in there, and bury it overnight, and then you can provide those to customers with relatively cheap overhead. And the difference is, if you're going to do a pig roast, you've got to do that big hole and all that in your backyard. It's a huge pain in the keister, right? It's not a lightly undertaken project once you've done it once or twice. So they're pretty excited about that. So it'll all be, not really catered so much as just cooked, and the pork itself will be done. But that's a lot of eating, and I don't know how many people they're planning to have. But I do, as the name would imply, Hambbage, I do like some pig. Now, I would be pretty shocked if there was any cabbage, maybe some coleslaw to go along with it. That would constitute cabbage. It's not the traditional Hambbage presentation of slow cooked in a slow cooker crock pot type deal with the cabbage in there. But I won't turn my nose up at it. So pretty excited to be doing that, and I do hope the weather holds out. But as I said, got an early start today with you guys so that I can try to get out and enjoy an active morning, and then go gorge for a bit in the afternoon, evening. And again, around all that could be kind of a mid-afternoon, might get an episode in. Could be an evening if things wrap up early, because I don't, it's a 60th birthday party. I don't think it's going to be a rager all night. And it's one of those come on over at 5:30, something like that. So may possibly do one late tonight. I don't know. We'll see. But I'm getting this one in because you may not hear from me again until tomorrow. And so far, we haven't even seen danger, much less potentially ended up in it. Now what are we going to do? I wanted a nice edge that we could then make our tunnels into, but that's not cooperating. Let's just go here. How are we doing on... let's go. Might as well fill up these couple spots. Darn it, now I'm rethinking. Sounds very squiddy. So what I haven't been mentioning here, but I wanted to shout out, thanks for all the support. Yesterday in particular, but day before as well. Everybody that was jumping on, giving the likes, watching the videos of the sputtering restarts and the tragic losses along the way. You guys are rock. You're so supportive and awesome. Thank you so much. Keep staying awesome. You guys are really great. I mean, that's something that's easy to just say sarcastically, like, yeah, you guys are great. No, I didn't. Didn't expect all the love, and people were the tweets I was sending out. I was getting likes and retweets and stuff like that. As I was kind of tongue in cheek, yeah, we're officially in a death loop, stuff like that. People were eating that up. So thank you. That's great. And if there's anybody new around that I haven't scared off already by my and starting coffee ramblings here early this morning, welcome, first of all. I hope you're enjoying. We're playing Hardcore Vanilla Minecraft, and we're working slowly on a challenge called the HCMC 100, which is to complete all of the advancements in Hardcore Vanilla Minecraft. And believe it or not, I think we've got a pretty fair chance of doing so. We just need to get out of our own way. So the reason why I ended up doing that whole chunk, and now I'll probably end up doing the whole thing, is I started in the middle, which used to always be my deal, is to go in the middle, but I think what we really want to do is go along the torch lines, which of course is deep slate here. Now let's go to the outside. It's closer to those mountains we'd seen anyway. But yeah, we want to put our torches at their appropriate places in case of future expansion. We're on the right track. This is what the game wants us to do. Swap that one at least. Launch up. I don't know how far we'll run this, but we've got some real active water going on. That sounds like axolotl, maybe. Oh, I was hoping for one more to make it a 6, but oh well. To me, that sounds like overhead, which means that at any point we could get flooded out. Now we're just going completely. I followed the sounds of the axolotls. Really am worried that they're up above. See, that seems to be getting a little more persistent and loud. This is kind of fun. We're definitely just wandering now. I don't really know why, other than if I'm going to be hearing all that, I'd rather... Did we lose it now? I give up. I don't know where it is. So all over the place. Whatever. Let's go back to our gravel pit. Now that I've completely filled everything up. But we got gold. Okay, 3. Even with our gravel, we didn't fill back up. That's pretty good. Alright, speaking of this coffee, I need more. That was too fleeting. Here we go. Ooh, made me cough. All right. amazed. I still seem to be picking stuff up, although we're pretty close. We can still get some cobble. Probably some iron. Yeah. More lava ahead. Now, question is, do we think that's tough or smooth? Yeah, it's tough. Hey. I was hoping for some amethyst, but well, since we're here and we already have a stack. Oh, it's nice having these stairs, huh? No more bouncing. Rainy up here, though. Alright, let's do gold. Because we're still very low on gold, and um, oh, I made the pick. I'd got it in my head that I had a diamond shirt because that was what I was, kind of thinking I was going to do. It's like, if I dropped that on the floor and let it despawn, oh, it was going to be trouble. Let's do... Oh, we can end up doing 2 along this side. Someday we'll expand our house a little bit, but let's pull that and that. And there. That's 2 apples. We'll need to do something about the growing stones mess pretty quick, but Why do today what you can put off till tomorrow, right? Wait, I'm not sure that's how that saying goes. Alright, we're gonna need more sticks. Yeah, let's just go ahead and do it. Alright, 2, 3. Don't split my stacks. Oh, listen to that. I will take one more of those, because why not? And now it's nighttime. I think we're probably getting a little close here. Let's check the time. 51, that's perfect. Um, I should really think about getting a ladder too. So the main goal here is use a stone tool. But those of you savvy viewers know we gotta clear these. I think ultimately what I may do is kind of a doubling to save us a lot of headache and keep things minimal in terms of the terraforming. So I think where our channel comes in, we'll kind of put fill out this way and clear this plane. So these border trees are going to go, and that'll be our eventual farming area where we'll have much less effort than we did in the last game where we took out that big hill in the middle. That was painful. Oh, it's soothing. I was just kind of like, oh, yeah. Just listen to the sound of the axe biting into the wood. All right. So one thing we can do in preparation for that, because I don't think we're anywhere near what we would need to be in terms of maybe we could go out this way. Let's check from here. Well, let's go to a corner. We'll just kind of compare. So allowing for ample cushion, right? Because we want... okay, so let's call it 20, right? So if we went from 20 to go the full length of the field would be to 84. Oh no. Or it would be 56. Oh, look at how far this is. Another 20 blocks into those. So let's go to 90. And now we're going down. So to 26 this way? Oh no. Well, that works a little better actually. So I guess that's our length. I see an apple over here. Our plan would be to go east-west with the crops, lay them out, kind of as we initially talked about. We can do some of this edge stuff, and that was initially why I didn't mind the creepers coming up and getting us out of here. We haven't done anything with that hole. Was thinking that some of that would have to get work done a little bit anyway, but we shouldn't have nearly the hassle that we did with vanilla brewed coffee, because there we were like, okay, we're just going to take out this hill in the middle of the valley to make everything work. And that wasn't particularly good. And this is mostly hollow inside, so that works. Now I'm not getting a big start on farming yet. I think we'll focus much more on the exploration, getting the diamonds, all that kind of stuff first in this world. Still like to get it all done. Obviously, the way that I set up enchanting and all that, it's a big part of it. But in this world, I think we'll just kind of pick at it. Now, I say that today, and by Monday, we may have our diamonds and all that, and like, all right, we're doing a farm episode. But that was, for one thing, we have the right kind of time. And if we can kind of work on this stuff at the odds and ends, if we're waiting for something to cook or any of that stuff, will be pretty good. We can get all this sand out of here too. Let's... just kind of picking away at stuff. The other thing, what did we do for our screenshot in the last episode? The sunset cow, right? We actually had Yahoo choose a fish pick for us recently. Oops. close the door in your own face. Lots of wood stuff. Food stuff. Should do this too while I'm thinking about it. Now that we are probably close to over. And then we can that all iron tools. It's the minor wins. Ha 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 ha. So, can we get a shot down here? I mean, it's just a basement, but it's what we were working on for a lot of today. It's got nice cobbly stairs now. And it shows off our diamondy, blingy picture. Something like that. It'll be a fairly dark shot. Alright, so we got a screenshot for a thumbnail. We've gotten a bunch of diamonds, enough for a shirt and some extras piled up there. A pick ready to go when we want it. We've kind of made some decisions about field orientation and made some gold apples. So I'd say we had a fine start to the world, and we didn't die. Always vitally important. 12 herbs and spices. Excellent. I said it in the midst of the game, but I'll say it again now because you guys are worth it. Thank you so much for coming by, hanging out. I hope you're enjoying the content. Drop by anytime. We should have new stuff, but when you do, or if you're watching a whole bunch in a row or playing games yourselves, make sure to give yourselves a little bit of time to be out and active and enjoying life. I will look forward to the next one and keep you posted. Keep an eye out. Subscription is a good way to do that in YouTube so you know if additional videos come out during the day today. Otherwise, you're welcome to keep an eye out. I am not Mr. Every single video gets a tweet. I'm sorry. I don't know, someday, well, we'll see maybe, but every few, I like to send out a tweet just to let those people know. So you can do that to keep an eye out as well. But yeah, this will be a good one. Likes and comments are always appreciated. You guys have a wonderful day. Enjoy the weekend. Enjoy the Olympics, and we'll see you back here for the next one. Bye now.